Hey everyone, this is your stimulus check update, second stimulus check update, and stimulus package update for Saturday, September 5th. This video is for those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits, as well as anyone wondering about the second stimulus check. And also I'm going to include some information about how you can get some food if you are struggling and don't have enough food for your family. These are the topics I'm going to cover in this video. First off, Vice President Mike Pence made a comment yesterday about the second stimulus checks. We're going to go over that. Next, we're going to talk about President Trump, how he talked about possibly using some of the money left over from the CARES Act to send out a second stimulus check. And then I'm going to go over the resources that you have available to you if you need food and you do not have enough food to feed you and your family. If this is the first time to my channel, my name is Justin and I do stimulus check updates and I also give financial advice. So if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe right now and hit the notification bell and select all so you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And if you find this content helpful, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button so that YouTube will share it with others. Before I talk about the second stimulus check, I want to make a quick clarification as I made a mistake in my video yesterday. For those of you that are still waiting on your first stimulus check, and those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits, or those that do not file taxes, you need to have these two deadlines. I had the deadlines wrong yesterday, so I just want to clarify really quick. The first deadline is for those of you that have dependent children. If you have dependent children and you haven't filled out the non-filers tool and you haven't received your first stimulus check, you need to fill out the non-filers tool by September 30th. I had that date wrong yesterday. And for those of you that do not have dependents and have not received your first stimulus check and are non-filers, you need to fill out the non-filers tool before October 15th. Those are the deadlines. September 30th if you have dependents and you haven't used the non-filers tool yet, and October 15th if you haven't used the non-filers tool yet and you do not have dependents. So now let's talk about the second stimulus check. Yesterday, Mike Pence was interviewed by CNBC, and I want to go over the comments that he made with regards to the second stimulus check. Mike Pence said, "Nobody wants to give direct payments to American families more than President Donald Trump. We sent those checks to American families. It helped people through this tough time." He's right. Those stimulus checks did help people that first time. However, those $1,200 stimulus checks did not go very far. In fact, the average American pays more than $1,200 per month in just rent. So that $1,200 didn't even cover 1 month's rent. So obviously, as you guys know, a second stimulus check is pretty critical for so many people that are struggling right now. Vice President Mike Pence has also said that President Trump is on board with sending another stimulus check. However, we've known this for weeks. It's Congress that is holding everything up at this point. Just over a month ago, President Trump called for more stimulus than the $1,200 stimulus checks. But as we all know, no second stimulus checks have happened yet. President Trump also tried to ease the burden on Americans by issuing 4 executive orders. Unfortunately, none of those executive orders really had any impact or little impact for those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits. However, yesterday, President Trump came up with another idea that possibly could get stimulus checks out to people. There are around $300 billion of funds that are left over from the CARES Act that were not used. As reported by Bloomberg.com, President Trump said Congress should authorize sending taxpayer checks from about $300 billion left over in a pandemic lending program. So there were some funds that were left over from the CARES Act that they had allocated for some lending as part of the CARES Act, and those $300 billion were not used. President Trump said, "We have $300 billion sitting in an account that we didn't need." He said this in a press conference yesterday. He continues, "It would be a very appropriate thing to release that to the American people, and I am willing to do it." He continued, "We have $300 billion. It's there. We don't need the money. We don't need anything. I could give it to the people as a very powerful stimulus." And he also added that there is a theory that he could issue the money without congressional approval. However, he would prefer if lawmakers approve it. And I think that's because if he were to try and approve something like that, there would be kind of legal battles, and there are issues with Trump trying to use funds that were not allocated from Congress or not approved by Congress. But President Trump is using this as kind of we have these $300 billion that are left over from the CARES Act already that were allocated for stimulus money. It wasn't specifically for stimulus checks. However, he's basically saying, what if I use that extra money and send it out as stimulus checks to Americans? I don't know how feasible this is. I don't know if he can legally do that. Most of the executive orders that he tried to issue, he had to find kind of loopholes in the law to do those. And this is almost like a loophole that he's trying to use to possibly send stimulus checks out to individuals. If this gets any traction, or if there's any more updates on this, I will be sure to let you know. But for now, there still is not a second stimulus check. We're waiting for Congress. Sounds like President Trump is also waiting for Congress to issue the next round of stimulus, which will hopefully include a second stimulus check. The Senate is back in session next week. And as they're back in session, I'm hoping that they will renew those stimulus check negotiations. And even though they've talked about the skinny bill, or the bill that was much smaller and included less things and didn't include a stimulus check, I'm thinking that unless they pass something with a stimulus check in it, the Democrats in the House of Representatives are not going to pass the next stimulus bill. So I do think that the next stimulus bill, if they can get one agreed to, will have a second stimulus check in it. That's about where we're at with the stimulus checks. President Trump really does want to send out stimulus checks, and some of it I think is, he wants to help the American people, but I know it would also help his election chances. So after reading some of the comments recently and just over the past few weeks, I realized that there are some of you that don't even have enough money for food right now. So I want to go over right now some resources that are available to you, because there are a lot of resources out there that are available to you if you need assistance with food. So first off, there is a website that I found that is called whyhunger.org, and they actually have a little search tool on their website. You put in your zip code and then select a distance within your zip code or from your zip code, and then it will show you food pantries, usually from churches and some other nonprofits that have food pantries that are available and other food resources available to you in your area. So if you are struggling for food and you need food assistance, go ahead and try this tool out. I haven't specifically used any of these food pantries that were found, but I tried it in an area around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just a random zip code I tried. And there were 43 food pantries within a 5-mile radius of that zip code. So try it out. Let me know in the comment section if this was helpful. There's also another one that I found that was foodpantries.org. Once again, I'm not affiliated with either of these websites, and I've never used them to actually find a place and actually go and get food, but I thought I would share that with you and let you know that there are resources available to you to find food pantries in your area. In addition to this, the federal and state governments also have some food assistance programs that are called SNAP and WIC, and some other food assistance programs as well. I really want you to make sure that you have food on your table. There are resources available to you, so use those resources. I leave links to all of these in the description below. So make sure you check those out if you need assistance for food. I know this is stuff that you guys don't want to use long term, and you don't want food assistance forever, but as you get through this difficult time, maybe you do need a little assistance for like a week or two, or for a couple weeks. So use those resources that are available to you. Make sure you have food for you and your family. I know so many of you are struggling, and I'm so sorry for that. I wish there was more I could do. Please let me know in the comment section if there's more information that you need on a different topic, or if you want some more resources for something else other than just food assistance. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching my videos. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon.